Let's bring in now John Kirby, the Strategic Communications Coordinator for the National Security Council. John, thank you for being here. Before we turn to Israel, I do want to ask you about the situation in Buffalo. What more do we know about the cause of this explosion at the U.S.-Canada border?
Well, Ryan, we actually don't know a whole lot more. I mean, we are monitoring these reports coming in actively here at the White House. We've got federal law enforcement on the ground assisting local law enforcement. They're still investigating, obviously, a very active scene. So I don't want to get ahead of them or what they're learning and what conclusions they might reach. But we're watching this very, very closely, obviously.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's talk now about the hostage negotiations. Who's responsible for making sure that both Hamas and Israel uphold the deal? And how do you make sure that other Iranian-backed proxy groups don't try and take advantage of this situation?
Well, obviously, we're dealing with Hamas here, a terrorist organization that doesn't have a strong track record in meeting all their commitments. So we're going to be watching this very, very closely. We're grateful for Prime Minister Netanyahu's willingness to sign on to this deal, as well as the Qataris for their role in brokering this with Hamas, and, of course, President Sisi of Egypt. So this was a lot of folks involved in this, including President Biden at a very senior level. He was very personally engaged in helping this deal get over the finish line. So we're all going to be watching it very, very closely in the hours that come to see whether Hamas actually meets its commitment and releases these people on the timeline that it promised it would do.
The administration has also said that it's hopeful there will be a pause on the northern border with Lebanon as well. Were there any specific commitments by Hezbollah as part of this deal?
I would just tell you, we don't want to see this war escalate or widen, and we certainly don't want to see a second front opened up in the north of Israel. We want this to stay contained to fighting Hamas in Gaza. Now, there have been exchanges of rocket fire across that border. You've seen that. But we have not seen Hezbollah make any commitment or make any stated commitment or we haven't seen any indication of any activity by Hezbollah that would tell us that they are willing to jump in both feet forward here and help Hamas.
Now, Israel has vowed to dismantle Hamas. We just heard the prime minister say that this is not an end to the war. But if this deal does not get extended and the pause in fighting does not continue, how difficult will it be to get a second hostage deal? How important is it for this one to be successful?
It's very important for this to be successful, if for no other reason, Ryan, than to get these 50 women and children back with their families where they belong. That is important enough as it is. We obviously want to see all the hostages come home, and that means that we're willing to engage in brokering further negotiations for more hostage releases in coming days. I don't want to get ahead of where we are right now. Our focus is really on making sure this first deal gets implemented, and if it can, and it can go successfully, that certainly would lead us to believe that our chances are better at moving forward on other hostage deals. But again, I don't want to get ahead of where we are. We're going to have to watch this one in implementation very, very, very closely.
And can you tell us anything about the Americans who are expected to be part of this deal, and how many other Americans remain as hostages in Gaza?
Well, we know there's about 10 unaccounted for Americans, and that means that there could be 10 overall hostages that are American. We don't have perfect visibility on all of them and where they might be, but that's sort of the pool that we're looking at. I would tell you, in this first installment, under this deal, there will be 3 Americans that we would expect to see released: 2 women, and of course young Abigail Moreeden, who turns 4 on Friday. We definitely want to make sure that she's in this group of 50 that are coming out and get her back with her family where it belongs. But so our expectation would be 3. 2 American women and Abigail, and then we'll obviously continue to work on getting all the other hostages released after that.
And the U.S. has often provided Americans detained abroad with resources to help with reintegration. Is the administration going to be able to offer those resources to the Israeli government once these hostages are returned?
We'll certainly do whatever is acceptable to the Israeli government in terms of reintegration. We know how to do this. We know how to get folks that have been in captivity for a long time, hostages or wrongful detainees, get them reintegrated back into society. They're going to need health care. They're going to need mental health care. Certainly, we'll be standing by for all the Americans that we can get out for any follow-on transportation they might need. I mean, we know how to do this. And look, the Israelis do too. It's not like they haven't dealt with this kind of problem before, but clearly, whatever the prime minister might require from us in that regard, we'd be happy to help.
And you mentioned this already, but maybe can you expand a little bit more about the specific role that President Biden played in these talks? Just last month, Arab leaders called off a summit with President Biden. Where does his relationship stand with many of those leaders now?
Well, that summit, just to be clear, wasn't called off by the Arab leaders. That was a mutual decision by all sides that it wasn't the time to go to Jordan, and so that part of the trip was canceled because of, again, a mutual decision. But to your question, we're going to obviously continue to work with Arab leaders throughout the region to make sure that we can get the humanitarian assistance in, to make sure that we can continue to get people out. There's roles to play by all those partners, and as I said earlier, Qatar has been enormously helpful. Jordan has been helpful. Egypt has really been helpful down at the Rafah crossing in terms of helping us get aid in and get people out.
All right, John Kirby, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.